Hello there. Welcome back. I am Renee and I am going to do another review for you. And this time we are going to cover Ready to Love Part 2. 2. The reunion with AJ, Kyra, Jason, Liz, KG, Smooth, Amber, and all the other folks that I don't remember. Oh, Joelle, Vernisha. See, those are the couples that began to come together. Actually, you know what? When the show first started, I knew it was Amber and KG at the end. I knew it based on the shot that they took of their shoes. And I think it was KG's chest. I was like, that's that brother right there because KG is so smooth. And I feel like clothes just lay on his body perfectly. It just, I think the brother has good style. Now, he was wrong for what he wore at the reunion, but the brother has good style. So, anyway, let's just hop right into it. This is Ready to Love Reunion Part 2. So when they come back, from the last season, they did that whole cliffhanger thing, and they're, zoomed in on Kyra and asking her to make a decision about AJ and whether she wants to continue seeing him or not. And for the most part, she said no. She's not. That's not her focus. But it was kind of tricky because on one end she said no, but on the other end she gave him permission to pursue her. And it was like, so which one is it? And it was definitely the latter. She wants him to pursue her. One, because Kyra, I think, is used to a certain amount of attention. She's used to a certain amount of effort on behalf of the man, and she hasn't really seen that from AJ yet, so she'd like to get more. Anyway, they talk about Troy. Nobody cares about Troy. Let's just be honest. I don't know how it was possible for Troy to tug on a woman's bra, to kiss all these women on the cheeks, to ask all of them to go on a trip, and he just kind of got away with it. I don't know how that happened. They kind of, oh, he, ha, 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 kind of made light of it. But let's just be honest. It wasn't cool. But here's the thing. Maybe we could say the same thing about Alexis. Because Alexis, I felt like, came off very aggressive in a sexual manner. And maybe the men, which I doubt, but let's just say they didn't appreciate it. Then she should not have acted that way. She should have pulled back a little bit because let's just be honest. If the men said what Alexis said to the women, they would have been chastised for it. They would have been reprimanded for their comments to them. But still, I think Troy got off a little bit easy. Anyway, they move on to Kyra and Jason, and they talk about how Kyra never opened up, which is true. Kyra, I think, maybe just based on her upbringing and then her job, she is a very what's the word for it? I think she's quite controlled. And I think everything that she does potentially is with intention. It's not just because. And so when that happens, you have a woman that knows how to compartmentalize her thoughts. She understands the game that she's playing and she plays it very well. And most men are not used to women playing the game that way. And she did it. Now, don't get me wrong. She didn't get her man, but she still did it. It's whatever. You know what I mean? Because maybe neither Jason nor AJ was the man for her. And that's cool too. You don't have to choose from these two guys. There's plenty of men in Houston. You know what I mean? So it's all good, girl. I appreciate it, Kyra. So I'm not even mad at it. But I can tell you she was hurt. Anytime I'm still arguing with you on a certain level, you hurt me. Anytime I lean in like that, you really hurt me, so Kyra was definitely still in a place of like, I cannot believe I'm sitting where I'm sitting. She wanted to be the one, I think, sitting on that couch with Jason, and I don't think Jason was her ideal man. I think if you put Jason's effort in AJ's body, then that may have been more appealing to her. But I felt like AJ was someone that she could kind of mold into the man that she wanted them to be, and AJ was who he is. Like, he was just standing in it, and because he didn't allow her to push him, in one direction or another, like maybe a lot of other men have, it proves to be a bit more of a challenge for her. But even, when we find, because I think Kyra is very much like myself, but when we find people that don't allow us to do anything that we want to do, it's intriguing. It's like, oh, what do you mean no? But then it's like, oh, no. Okay, well, now let's find another way, and let's do this and let's do that. And sometimes it's not fun, but other times, it keeps us on our toes. And so we do like that. But we don't like it too much, so don't do it. But I could tell she was hurt. I could tell she was angry. And Jason said he was just torn between her and Liz. On one end, he was trying to get Kyra to let her walls down, to be open and vulnerable, to communicate her feelings and emotions in a free way. And she just wasn't doing it. And so he's like, okay, so do you want me to fight you? Or do you want me to go with the woman that has allowed me in? I mean, and who doesn't choose the path of least resistance? It's just common sense. Kyra, I'm sorry, girl. I love you, but no. I mean, and I say, I feel like I can understand you more because I think like you. I think we have a lot of similarities in that regard. However, because I can see it on the outside looking in, I can see where this went wrong. But I can see a lot of positives in how you moved on the show as well. I think Jason handled this conversation with Kyra very well. He didn't want to argue with her. He didn't want to push the point. He didn't want to be a David. He just let it go. Like, oh, well, whatever. And honestly, I don't know if we'll ever know the truth between these two. I do think in some ways Jason was a little dishonest. But was he dishonest to the point of detriment? Was he dishonest about really important things? Was he dishonest about what was going on in his heart? I don't think so. I mean, I'll never know, but I don't think so. So, we'll just have to see, and hopefully they can at least move forward in friendship and getting to know each other. David and Stacey have a little moment that they clue in on, where they talk about this whole password situation. And I thought David did a great job in breaking it down and saying, listen, I wasn't talking about dating you. I'm thinking about marriage. I'm thinking about the future. I'm talking about in a serious, committed relationship where we are in agreement under God or whomever you guys choose about how we're going to pursue this relationship and how we're going to move each other forward. And that made total sense to me. I personally did not agree with how it was presented at the time, but I can see, if you telling me you want my password and we're just dating, we're no longer dating, you're done. It's a violation of my privacy. But when you have a spouse, when you have a husband, when you have a wife, it's no big deal because we've committed our lives to each other. We're raising children together. We are working on business with one another. We've made a commitment before God and our families, So what's the little password? Who cares if you have my social media account? I don't, because clearly I'm not doing anything. But if we're dating, I might be doing something. And so I don't want you to have access to my passwords. It's really just that simple. So anyway, Joelle and Vernisha. Oh, this broke my heart. This just broke my heart. You knew from the very beginning that they weren't in a good space because I only think there was maybe one shot that production was able to get of them two sitting together. Throughout the show, I think they only showed us one time whether they were sitting together. And I was thinking, that's strange. And then Vernisha said, well, all these guys, they just full of it, or they're no good, or something to that effect. And I was thinking, why would she say that? And of course, the dead giveaway was how far apart they were sitting from each other on the couch. And I was thinking, oh man, what happened? And so they just started to go into the breakdown of their relationship. And right off top, I can tell you what it is. I know where they went wrong. Want to know? Good, because I'm going to tell you. This is where they went wrong. After the taping of the show, Vernisha felt like they were in a relationship. Now, whether he communicated that to her or not, I don't know. But that was her thoughts and feelings. Joelle felt like they were dating. That's it. And in that dating, he's not saying that I'm not going to go hang out, I'm not going to do my thing, or whatever the case may be. He's just saying we are going to pursue each other. Now, he did say he was going to pursue her, and he wants her to pursue him exclusively. That changes the dynamic of things, but you have to be very clear. What do you mean? Are we still seeing other people? Are we in a relationship? Ask the questions that you want to know. Do not assume. I say that in my personal life all the time. I don't assume, especially in relationships, because I don't want to look dumb, for one. And I like for men to be straightforward with me. If you like this, say it. If you don't, say it. If we are moving in one direction, let me know. Do not expect for me to guess. Do not expect for me to read in between the lines, or I'm supposed to decode whatever you want me to know. No, say what you need to say. Because this is not a mystery game. We should be adult enough to be open and honest with each other and be vulnerable with one another. If you can't be vulnerable, you do not belong in a relationship. And that's just point blank, period. I think Vernisha was very open in her mind. When she clicked with Joelle, he was the one. They were going to get married. They were going to be the couple that makes it from the Ready to Love franchise, or not franchise, but from the Ready to Love previous seasons. And he shattered that dream for her, but she was moving in the direction of, I've already got this lined out, and he just wasn't there. Now, did she communicate to him that that's where she was? I don't know. So on both parts, it was really important for them to do that, and I don't think they did that at all. So just because we leave the show doesn't mean we're in a relationship. It just means we're dating. And at some point, we will confirm whether or not we want to move forward and solidify this by saying, I'm your woman, you're my man, and we are together, and it's just us, and we're not going to allow the dating of anybody else. So I've seen dudes ask women to be exclusive, and that doesn't mean that they're in a relationship. It just means that I just want us to be in pursuit of each other without outside distractions. And once we figure that part out, then we'll make a decision on whether we want to actually be in a relationship or not. So unfortunately, Vernisha, that's just the way that cookie crumbled. You said you guys talk less, and you didn't so much fall asleep on the phone together anymore, and you didn't see each other as much anymore. I mean, that's what happens when you go back to real life. It's unfortunate, but it happens. And sometimes men get themselves into things and they get in a little bit too deep. It's unfortunate, but it happens. And I'm not giving Joelle a pass. I'm just saying it is what it is. And I think you just came into this expecting more than what he was willing to give at the time. And maybe he presented himself like he could give you that, but let's just keep it 100. He couldn't. He wasn't ready. And I don't think Joelle is ready, because if he was, he would not have spent so much time trying to be friends and cultivate relationships with everybody else, because he would be focused on you. If he was truly ready to love, he doesn't have time. Listen, when you start in a relationship, you don't have time. Even for your old friendships, you don't have time. So I know that if he was laser focused on you, he would not have had time. So he wasn't. The sheer fact that he wanted to keep building and building and building and building and building all these relationships with you, and you get a call and you get a call. Like, no, that's just not how this is supposed to work. It's you and I. You have to be very intentional about the amount of time that you spend, the words that you say, the actions that you take with the person when you're building the foundation of a relationship. And I'm not saying Joel did a bad job. I'm just saying he was not as focused on building with you as you were with him. And because he was fine, and because he was, he caught your eye from the very beginning and he kind of fit your criteria, you just fell into it. And I'm sorry, sis, that broke your heart, and it did look like it. Now, let me bring this back around, because I'm going to tell you, Vernisha, where you're wrong, darling. Don't come up here with an attitude with another woman because of what you heard in the street. Nobody care what you heard in the street. Come to me as a woman and ask me if you have a question. Just don't automatically treat me different. You even said that about Joel. You said Joel would hear something about you and treat you that way. He didn't even ask you. You did the same thing to Stacy. You heard something in the street and you treated her differently. You didn't even ask her. And that's not okay, because ultimately she owes you nothing. She's not indebted to you. She's not in a relationship with you. You guys are not friends. You're not family. So why are you mad? And you were on a dating show. And at the end of the day, that ain't your man. You want him to be your man. He was almost your man, but almost doesn't count. So why are you mad at Stacy? Because word on the street, no, we're going to have to do better. We're going to have to do better. At 40, you're going to have to do better than word on the street. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you get away with that. The whole, what you say? I'm going to slap somebody. Girl, that was a bad look. And I believe you said it. Because you said, when you take something that somebody say and you just blow it out of proportion, no, you said it. And you don't know how he received it. Clearly, he took it pretty seriously, right? He might have laughed it off or whatever at the time, but we just can't say things like that in the foundational phase, because people don't know who we are. And if we say something, and normally people, they'll give you that pause and you're not really sure if they got you, but they don't say anything, elaborate, clarify. Ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Did you get what I mean? Do you really know what I meant when I said that? Are you comfortable with what I said? Or, listen, I just want you to know, when I said XYZ, I wasn't being serious. It was just a joke. I was just kidding. You have to do that, because a lot of times people will give you that pause and they're really thinking, like, did he mean that? Was he serious? Was she for real? Pay attention to those things that they don't say. Or if they bring up something you said later on as a joke, and you trying to figure out, like, okay, why are you saying that? But it's based on something you said earlier. 9 times out of 10, that joke is trying to figure out where you are. They're trying to calibrate on what level of seriousness was your previous comment. So just keep that in mind. Joel said he didn't have a girlfriend. He didn't. Not sure what else you want from that one. You weren't his girlfriend. He said he was taking it one day at a time. Period. In your mind, you determined that you guys were in a relationship in your mind. And maybe, hey, look, he might have, held you like he was your man. He may have, supported you like he was your man. He may have showed up and held your hand and brought you breakfast like he was your man. But he wasn't your man. So we have to call a thing. As women, we have to say, it is what it is, which is why it's very important to ask questions and not assume. Don't be like, oh, well, I think we're here. No, we're not here until you two declare and agree, right? It's not just him declaring. It's the two of you declaring and agreeing that that's what you want for the relationship, with each other, not with other people, with each other. That's how you move a relationship forward. So He wasn't lying about that. I did not like him saying he didn't want you to see other people, but that's why we have to ask questions. The whole Stacy situation, I already said I didn't like that, but she had his hand or her hand on his chest with one finger, two fingers, or three fingers. That's territorial. That's jealousy. That's insecurities. That's control. And men don't like it. That's it. That's it. I mean, I wish I could give you something else, something that might, make me seem more in support of your position. And this is not that I'm not against your position. I'm just simply saying, see it for what it really is. See yourself differently. See your situation that played out with the one finger, two finger, three finger, and maybe make it your son, or somebody else that you care about, and see, was it really a big deal when this ain't my man and we're on a dating show? Was it really a big deal? If he wanted to cover you in a certain way, he would have. One thing I learned about men is if they want you, they coming after you. And that's a fact. You can ask any man, bring them on. If they want you, they are coming after you. You do not have to break your neck. They coming for you, sis. And you're going to know it. So I didn't like that, Vernisha. Joelle says you wanted to stay at the house. It ain't time. This man has 2 daughters. And I don't know if his daughters were there that night. But as long as they were in that house, the answer is no. Until you guys make an agreement together that that's how you want to move forward. Sorry, I don't blame him for that. The whole situation with Amber, oh my gosh, and his mother-in-law passing away or something like that, and you said you wouldn't want him to go by himself? Why? What's the problem? His mother-in-law died. This isn't a date. This is somebody who knows him, has some sort of relationship with him, being concerned and wanting to be supportive. And you say you would have been upset if he went by himself? Girl, why? It's controlling. It's territorial. And men don't like that. I'm sorry. You're going to have to get that under wraps. You're going to have to get a hold of that and figure out why that's happening. Because that insecurity has reared its ugly head one too many times in your relationships, and you want to know why they are not working out. That could possibly be one of the reasons. When I'm trying to figure out why I keep getting the same result, I have to self-evaluate and say, what am I doing that would get me that result? And so that's something that I think would be very important. And maybe you've already done that. I don't know. But I don't think Amber did anything wrong. I don't think Stacy did anything wrong. Tommy asked Joel, does he want to repair the relationship or I guess continue dating and seeing? And he says, I don't know if I do. Ouch. Ouch, Joel. Dang, did you have to say it like that? I can appreciate his honesty. Truthfully, I do. And I think that it was necessary in that moment. I wish he had been just as honest and just as transparent the whole time. Don't just pick and choose, because that's how you lead women on. That's how miscommunications happen. But really just tell your truth the entire time. It makes things a whole lot easier. Jason and David, I don't even know. Because this whole situation with Liz and did David tell his friends about this kiss? And did he say, oh, did you kiss him again, and throw her under the bus? Here's the thing. Ain't nobody around that's seen this show that doesn't believe Liz. the way that she was portrayed on the show, the way that she appears to everyone, is that she's an honest woman. So if she says that you said that to your friends and you threw her under the bus, unfortunately, dude, we're kind of going to believe it. And it's not necessarily right, because just because somebody looks innocent doesn't mean they are innocent. Just because somebody comes off initially as honest doesn't mean they're always being honest. But in this particular situation, and the way that she communicated and did the whole mannerisms and all of that when she was telling her story, I believed her. I believe you said it just the way that she said, and I believe it was your intention because you were upset. You said the kiss didn't mean anything to you. I don't believe you. I don't take you as the kind of guy that takes kindly to sharing. So, I'm sorry, David. I just don't believe it. I don't think you like that she kissed Jason. And I think that when you guys came down to ending the whole situation between the two of you, you were trying to get out what you wanted to say so that way she couldn't eliminate you. You wanted to say, aha, I got you. And that's exactly what I feel happened. You know, even if you had some things that you wanted to get off your chest, you could have said it after the fact. You could have let this woman say her piece. You know the drill. You had done it once or twice. So why now all of a sudden you act like you don't know how it goes? Sit down, take what she has to say, and then you can respond to it. But other than that, I think you went about it all wrong, brother. You went about it all wrong. But overall, I felt like there was a little something with David and Stacey brewing at the time of the reunion. I don't know if it's still happening, but the way that she looked at him when they were on that stage, I was thinking to myself, girl, do you like him? Because that looked a little strange. Andrea and Christian, I don't know if they're really going on a date, but probably. But I could tell you one thing, she wasn't going to say no to him on national TV. Khalil and Ida, I bet money they're not dating anymore. I'm pretty sure they're not dating anymore. Alexis, I'm pretty sure she's still single too. I don't know for a fact, but I'm just guessing based on how everything ended, and I'm pretty sure she's not messing with AJ. Liz and Jason, I can tell you based on the interviews that I've seen that those two are still together, so it's really nice and sweet. I did not put those two together. I definitely didn't see them being a good match at all. Jason seemed young, Liz seemed old, and their personalities didn't seem to fit at all. But for some reason, they're working out, and I hope they continue to work out. I can say though that I heard through the grapevine that the reason why the real fallout between Jason, AJ, and Kyra was because AJ and AJ and Alexis shared a very special moment while Kyra was on vacation, and I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And for Alexis to say I have pictures of the kiss. I feel like she took those pictures on purpose. She knew the reunion was coming up, and she knew she was going to need some proof, and she wanted to be able to say, I have pictures. And unfortunately, AJ fell for it, and it's a shame. KG and Amber, I don't really know about them. I'm trying to figure out if they're a real thing, but I love how gorgeous KG is. All the melanin that they have going on, popping over there. I think it's she stay focused, he stay focused. He's the kind of guy that is used to working around powerful people, and her title is powerful. It doesn't mean that her day-to-day job function is of power, but her title carries a certain amount of respect and authority. And so she needs a type of man that's not intimidated by that. And I definitely think KG is the one. As a matter of fact, I would bet that when the Ready to Love production team put this cast together, they specifically look for somebody who would be interested in KG. Specifically look for somebody who would want him, because how else would they have given him this redemption story? Would not have been possible. Who else we got? Christian, no, we talked about him. Khalil, no, we talked about them. Stacy and Chrysanthemum, don't even care. Dietrich, he seems like a cool dude, but he seems like big bro in the back, so we always need somebody like that. That's really it, y'all. Kyra, I'm sure she's doing her thing. I don't know if her and AJ will get back together, but she gave him permission to pursue her, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm wrapping it up. That's it for me. This is Ready to Love Part 2, The Reunion. I'm Renee, and I appreciate you for joining me, and I hope you join me next time. Bye-bye.